Happy New Year, Connor.
Happy New Year, my friend. 2025.
I know, 2025. And
Hard to believe.
Everything's in the past now.
That's
It's
it.
all in the past. Whatever happened yesterday.
It's a brand new year.
It's a brand new year.
Anyone you texted last night, don't worry about it.
Oh, did you? You didn't
I'm
do
not
like
that guy.
you didn't do like drunk tests?
No,
Is that
not
what
me.
Yeah.
Shut the phone right off.
I know. Try to text the guy, and he's like, I'm waiting down at Bad Dog for you for like 2 hours. I'm like, where is this guy coming from? And yeah. It's
Well,
okay,
if you went back,
forgive me.
I didn't say I was on the way.
You said you were already downtown. That's what you want me to read
No,
that back
I'll
to you? I'm going to read it back to you.
You sure
Hi,
can.
we're live.
Oh, hey.
But you know what? I'm a guy who sets goals and things all year. I don't really do the new. Do you do New Year's resolution?
It's a good
I
reset.
guess, right?
It's a nice line to reset. But I'm not going to set lofty goals.
Yeah.
I like to be better every year.
Yeah, well, I do the quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily thing where I have goals and all that. And I try to get a little bit better every day. I'm not always good at it, but
2 steps forward, 1 step back.
yeah, that's right. So, but a lot of people I texted and said hello to, whatever. They had a safe night. Jennifer and we went to the casino, had dinner, and then I sat up at I always like sitting up at the bar at the casino, and I was having my non-alcoholic beer. I'm pretty proud of myself for that.
Absolutely.
But people come up, and I'm telling you, you sit there, you can make 100 friends a night just from people come up and you go,
Yeah,
hi,
I'm sure.
hi, hi. Yeah, so.
Someone might buy you a drink, too, if they
They
said they
might.
won.
They might, yeah.
I'm up 1,000.
So speaking of the past, yesterday, we've got to go in and talk about it, I guess, well, in the standings, I think we've got to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about standings. We'll get to Alessandro Di Orio. And then the attendance of the Sarnia Sting is very positive in there as well. But I guess we have to talk about the reality of what happened yesterday with London. I mean, I was watching that Bad Dog where you weren't. Just saying.
That's old business.
Yeah, okay. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what? The 3 goals that we did get were great goals.
Yeah, they were.
And they worked hard for those goals. But 9-3 is tough to overcome, right?
It's a shellacking, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's, and London's got some new players on there, right?
They just anyone can fill that role. It seems like they're missing 6 guys to the juniors, and there's just no shortage of anybody to step in and fill that role.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
They made it known.
And I don't think that I don't want to sound negative, but I mean, why don't you talk about? First of all, let's talk about a little bit more about. Let's look at the shots on goal in that game, right? I mean, 36 shots on goal for the Sarnia Sting to London's 34, but yet they win 9-3.
They certainly
what's
weren't
the difference there?
It's a bit of defensive lapse. I guess probably a couple goals that maybe Evan would like to have back.
Right.
Maybe not entirely his fault, but their power play is. You give them a chance on the power play, they take it every single time.
Yeah.
And we again struggled. I think if you look there, it was 1 for 7. And they
the
were
power
3
play,
for,
1 for 7.
But yeah, if you
and in the beginning they were 1 for 2 or 2.
That's good numbers.
That changed quickly.
We'll just look at that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets old to talk about, but it always comes back to the power play. We're really not doing bad in the standings right now. But if you look, it's for the worst power play in the league by far still.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to sound negative, but we had coming off a 8 or 9 losing streak.
Yep, it was a tough stretch.
3 games in a row against some strong teams, and then a loss to London. And then back, as you were saying, against Saginaw, right?
Good teams.
Come on in down front to Saginaw, which is not an easy team to beat as well. So, it just shows the capabilities of this Sarnia Sting team.
Yeah, you can, like I said, you beat Kitchener, and then I just, when we beat them, I said, well, why can't you beat anyone else? And they showed that when they beat Saginaw, but it just seems to be a snake-bitten kind of thing. Anytime it comes to the 402,
that's why they call it
have
the
their
battle.
number. Yeah, and it's not much of a battle. When you can only get a win out of them every season. But it's just, I think London likes to beat us too. take a lot of pride in that because I think they realize how big of a rivalry it is. They play harder on nights against Sarnia than they do against any other
if
team.
you watch the game too, like where I was at Bad Dog yesterday when you weren't there.
2024.
But there were some grins coming off some of the players of London, almost arrogantly. I'm going to be honest and say, right? It's like,
I'm certain,
and a little pushing and shoving, and it's like sometimes that can get you into trouble if you get a little too complacent and everything there. But I mean, obviously not. I mean, London hockey's a whole different ball game, so to speak. We won the majority of the face-offs in there too, but we just couldn't capitalize on that puck. We seem to still be having a lot of trouble in the corners, and the old dump and chase.
Yeah, you get caught there. Like I said, I think that comes to size sometimes. You get up against these big players, and you're scared to go into the corner.
I would be
exactly. Like there's no reason not to be.
Not that I'm the toughest guy around, but still, even if
just a matter of overcoming that, I think, and knowing that you can out-battle these guys along the board. You really have to dig in and fight for it.
Let's say hello to our friends on TikTok. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. We'll stay live for the entire, up to the end of the second period and then into our second period update. So hello, everybody. Fergie's out there. Ken's out there. Do us a favor and tap that screen if you're on TikTok. We'd like to get to 5,000 by the end of the first period. Barry Bentley and the Hughes Intelligence team for allowing us to broadcast up here in the Hughes Intelligence Canada hockey suite. And you can see there, you can follow Connor Burke on Twitter. I'm there as well, all my socials at Burrows. But this guy's pretty active on Twitter. We're going to get to the Diorio. Let's talk about that first, actually. Diorio's goal. I don't have the clip here, but what an amazing power goal from the far right of the boards, where you shouldn't be, really, I guess, and just shoots it over. It gets over top of Elliott's shoulder, and he couldn't get his head in the way of it. But it was a beautiful goal.
It was a rocket, yeah.
And it was like he was aiming there.
No, yeah, he knew exactly where he was shooting. And not to mention anybody else, too. Karimov had an awesome power. It was a power play goal, actually.
Yep.
One of our rare ones. He had a great power move as well. Just outworked everybody and got to the net. And that's just what these guys can do. It. They know how to. You can outwork these teams. It's about consistency and getting them out every 60 minutes of the game.
And it was such a beautiful goal that it became the OHL clip of the night. So the Ontario Hockey League recognized that as the best goal of all
Which
the
is
games.
impressive because they scored 9. So
right.
We stole that one from them.
We got something out of it. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, and this leads me into my next, we'll get to the attendance thing, but if you look, I don't know if you've looked at the lines yet.
Yeah.
So here, and honestly, I didn't see who was the first line yesterday, but I mean, you got Brown, Moses, and Beamish on the first line.
It's stacking the first line.
That's a new line.
Yeah, it is.
And then,
I don't think Brown's seen a lot of the first line.
No,
this year.
and I'm excited to see what he brings out there. I think we've talked about, a while back he was in that sophomore slump, and he seemed to get out of that.
Yeah.
Moving forward, Dalen Moses. Here's one I'm looking forward to seeing more of. Diorio on the second line with Filak and Doucette.
Yeah, I think they kind of switched that up.
Yes, 100% they did.
Yesterday was Diorio, Karimov, and Doucette.
Right.
Karimov bumped down to the third line.
Yeah, you'd love to see Karimov on that first line, wouldn't you?
I would. I'd love to see it,
Yeah.
but, like consistency. He got a goal yesterday, but it's a matter of getting on the score sheet every night. Not that you can do that every night, but
and
as much as possible.
I still, I want to see O'Mary a little more. But it's got to be. We don't know what's going on in the locker room or at I call it rehearsal, but at practice. It's got to be hard as a coach, especially when you've only got a handful of adults, players, 18 plus, with some experience, with the majority of having 16 and 17-year-olds in your other pocket, and then who do you mix them with. Alan Letang has even said in post-game, like, yeah, it's hard to even rely on or set a certain expectation from a 16, 17-year-old on a line with a 19-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, how much can you really do? And like you said earlier about London, they have no shortage of guys to come in and fill a slot if they're missing 6 guys to the World Juniors. But you start to run a little thin once guys start getting injured, and then you've got a whole roster full of kids where they've only been here for a year, 2 years. They only are so adapted to the OHL game and we're gonna. I'm sure it's in the back of their minds when they're looking and realizing how valuable Felak and Doucette are to us right now.
Yeah.
They're chipping in 20 points up next year. So
that's right.
You gotta be thinking for next year that everybody wants to take a leap, not just a step forward.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of the World Juniors, I mean, that was disappointing last night. I know you were. I could hear you actually crying.
That was a heartbreaker. I couldn't. 2 losses. Those are my 2 teams to lose to. Is the Knights and the States, and 2 in one day yesterday was a dagger to my heart.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens coming up next here today. The Battle of the 402. I mean, there's a lot of people here. Like, there's still a lot of people walking around, so I suspect it'll be fairly full. But I want to talk about the attendance here. Our friend Steve, who's one of the stat guys here with the OHL in the house at the Progressive Auto Sales Arena. The teddy bear toss was the number 1 at 4,364 people in attendance.
What a turnout.
We've had 3 games that were 4,000 plus, 6 games 3,500 plus. I should put this up on the screen, but our
less than 2,500.
Yeah, our average attendance is 3,658. I think that's pretty darn good.
You can't be mad about that.
Considering how we're doing
the
this
struggles.
year. Yeah.
It's an easy extra 100, 400 fans when you're doing a little bit better in the standings, but this is awesome to see regardless.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, we're sitting right now, we got 12 wins and 19 losses, and we're like 7th in the Western. So there's still some work to be done, but let's talk about like coming back here on Friday against the Bulldogs. What's your expectation on that? I mean, obviously we want to win, but
you get a little bit of a break, just a little reset after 2 hard games against London, and maybe I never want to say it's an easier team, but any team a step back from London is a nice little break to kind of maybe get some guys going.
Yeah.
And get an opportunity.
Well, I'm the guy that always says, like, don't wish it were easier, wish it were better.
Right.
However, the reality is you're playing the Bulldogs, and then, coming up we'll have Owen Sound, Erie, and Sudbury, which are teams that we've been able to play well against.
Beat before, yeah. And you can beat again. Like, those past couple games against Kitchener and Saginaw, they show me that they are fully capable to compete with any team in this league.
Yeah. Maybe
London one day. Maybe it may take till next year, but it's there. The talent and the potential is there. It's just a bit of patience.
Right. Well, and the London fans are here tonight as well, even up in the suite area where we're at.
London faithful.
There's quite a few up here, and again, thanks to Hughes Intelligence for allowing us the suite up here to do our broadcast from. But I see a lot of green walking around out there, and
always a bummer, but they're bringing in the revenue.
Yeah, right. They're buying a ticket to be here.
They're buying beers.
But I mean, I think the Sarnia Sting fans do the same, going down to London.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I know that there was a lot that spent time there. That was their New Year's Eve. We're going to London to support the Sting, and that's another thing. Like, the fans have done really well of continuing to support this team. I say it every time, though. I'd like to hear a little more noise.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know how to get that going, because it seems like that seems to be a problem in some NHL arenas too. Even when they're full, like the Leafs arena, it's quiet. I don't know. Maybe just a little more interaction on the jumbotron. I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, I know like Jake Burry and his team do a great job of in-game experience here. They're always adding new stuff. I don't know. Did you notice the new projector coming up the stairs?
Coming up the stairs. That was very cool, actually.
So I came up the stairs. I was here at like 11:30, and there was nothing on. And then I walked up the stairs, and it came on all of a sudden really. I thought there was like a sensor or something, but it was just on the pause in between and it scared the crap out of me. But because the first thing I heard was Lee Cunningham's voice. Whoa, where is he? I thought he was behind me or something.
He's a scary guy, you know that.
Yeah, Lee Cunningham, Pat DeRoche. We can see them across the way. They're doing their thing. You can listen to the game and them on chok.com, or if you're in Sarnia, 103.9 FM, 1070 AM. And then, of course, Terry Doyle and Barry Wright. I'll tell you, I enjoy the privilege of being able to go down in the media room before the game and listening to Terry Doyle and all the other radio, the away radio guys telling stories.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to do a podcast on this. And it's like, they're like, yeah, we got to wait for a couple of people to die before we
retire.
We can tell those stories. But there's
Jobs
something
might
there.
be on the line.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But that's where you can watch the game there as well. So let's go over and say hello to TikTok. And also if you're, let's see, where can I put this? Yeah, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you can send stars to us. And the Pogie Dome just followed us. Thank you so much for the follow on TikTok. We've got 55 gifts we're looking for out there. I think we need I don't know how many tiny dinies. I think we need 5.
You're still on the tiny dinies.
I just like saying tiny diny. Tiny diny. Tiny diny.
Tiny
Hello,
diny?
TikTok.
I'll take a tiny diny.
Right? Oh, yeah. Liking the live out there. Thank you so much. We'd love to get to 5,000 on TikTok. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, Burrows or David Burrows on TikTok. When we stop this broadcast, we stay live over there, so you get that behind-the-scenes nasty stuff. Thank you, Pogie, for clicking that button out there. That's awesome. And please share the live out there as well. And give us a tiny diny. Need tiny diny. Tiny diny. I'm your tiny diny. Okay. Shut up, Burrows. So what do you think? What do you think is aside from the power play? I mean, what's the other gap that you're seeing out there with the Sarnia Sting, or what's lacking?
Maybe just a little bit of offensive output.
Yeah.
You could always have more goals. You want to fill the net as much as possible. You're not hurting anyone's feelings when you get out there and just put everything you got on the goalie.
Yeah.
Like yesterday was a great shot night, but sometimes it seems like they're walking away with 19 shots or something, and you can only challenge the goalie so much before he's fully comfortable with 20 shots a night. Like, I could do that. I could turn those away.
Yeah. Well, and you see, again, going back to Diorio there with a goal, your guy, Karimov, and Tyson Doucette. And yet, we don't see any of these guys on the first line.
Yeah. You didn't see Beamish yesterday. You didn't see you just kind of wonder if you could have 2 lines of consistent offensive output, you could have a 6-goal game, and then when you're scoring that many goals, you don't really have to worry about your defense as much because you're always in the offensive zone. Maybe just a change of mindset a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and that's a big part of it. And before I forget, 50-50 tickets available, SarniaSting5050.com, and it's supporting Sting Assists.
Be a big one tonight, I think.
And yeah, I think so. I'm going to guess 5,000.
I would say so.
I would say that's
I'm going to go with 6,500.
Okay. Just to one-up me.
Price is right here.
Price is right. You are. Yeah, I'm a big mindset guy, philosophical kind of guy, and I've always been curious as to what the conversations are. Are there speeches or anything like that going on? Those motivational speeches we see in the movies, and but I mean, I can give you a book on how to do things, and you can read it over and 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 over, right? And then, but until you take action on it, it really doesn't mean anything, right? So I just wonder how many conversations have been had, and it's got to be, and I don't, it hasn't been said to me, but I'm just guessing, it's got to be frustrating as a coach sometimes when you're talking to young kids, teenagers. I didn't listen.
I know I didn't either.
Right? So I know, and you still don't listen because your mother says stop buying jerseys.
You see there?
I don't know. Who else? Mason Mack followed us out there. Thank you so much. And sharing the live out there. You guys are fantastic. We're up to 1,900. We're going to get to 5,000. The ultimate goal on TikTok is 20,000 by the end of the second period. So
go for 21.
Yeah. Did you So yeah, mindset, right? I mean, it's like, do you grip the stick harder? Do you loosen it? And there, you keep moving these lines around. It seems like is there no consistency in the lines?
It's tough when you see a new guy on the line every single game.
Yeah.
There's not many consistent lineups where you're like, oh, those guys have been together for
Right.
10 games this season. Seems like they get a 2-game tryout, and then it's like, maybe he'll work better with somebody else. And
Yeah.
Maybe that comes back to a bit of a coaching decision. Just
For sure.
let someone sit and figure it out for 5 games, 6 games.
And I mean, I don't
Sometimes-
qualify to be a coach by any means, so
me neither.
I'm curious as to why. Because sometimes I think wouldn't you want to stick with the line even if it's not working quite right yet, and stick with it? But then how long do you do that? And you've only got so many games to play to figure it out. Like it's
a big math problem.
yeah. Well, it's a big job as a coach, right? There's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. So I got to say though, like, and I don't just say it because I have faith in this team. I think there's some more things that are coming down the pipe that'll probably help them along. Like, getting some more organized. We haven't heard anything new of replacing Michael Haley yet, right?
No, still an empty position.
We'll see what. I'm sure there's something that's got to come soon out of that. But I haven't even heard any rumblings of anything there. So I know there's a lot of predictions.
The workload only increases for Letang and staff without him.
And this is it, right? And I mean, the sacrifices that not just the players, but the sacrifices of the coaches as well. But let's talk about the families of the coaches and the players that make the sacrifice of, not being around New Year's Eve to missing probably birthdays and whatever. And that's just a part of becoming successful.
Yeah, it sucks. They give up so much. They spend more time here than the players, than probably anyone really.
Right.
And it's a tough job to do. Like, and to think that some of these families are reading comments and about fire this kid, fire that. And
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine how much that weighs on a whole family for sure.
Well, and then to sit there and not respond.
Yeah,
that's the
it's
tough
easy.
part. It's like,
so easy to just get those thumbs going.
Keyboard cowboys. Right. But I still have faith in this team. I do think that, maybe the switching the lines around, I'm sure that Letang and the coaching staff have a strategy of sort, that there's a reason why they don't just go, well, let's try this. I don't know. See if it sticks. I don't think that's a strategy. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Throw something at the wall and see what sticks.
Right. The Sting fans are looking for it, though. They want to see a nice win here today, and I don't even. I mean, while you'd like to flip it the other way, and we have a 9-3, I don't think that's a reality here. I think it's
certainly a possibility.
Just winning by one is all you got to do, right? And obviously, losing 9-3 really hits a person's ego. So maybe that ego drives them today.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it's a factor. Like, they're definitely not going to be happy about the score yesterday, and just more motivation to come out and play as hard as you can today. Yeah. We're
about 6 minutes away from the Sarnia Sting coming out. We do not show the game here, just so you know, TikTok. What do we got here? Mike says, I was at the Knights game last night. Sting got smoked. Yep, they sure did. Thanks for bringing that up.
That's last year.
Yeah, that was last year. That's yesterday's news. Dan says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Dan. Pickleballer, Happy New Year. See more likely when Kingston comes visit. Yeah. Who's that handsome guy in the yellow? What, this yellow?
Hey.
Who's that? Berkey381.
It's probably my brother, I think.
Oh,
actually.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, my wife isn't even on TikTok. She doesn't even watch my weekly show. Thanks, Jennifer. And
always thank you.
Rob followed us. Thank you. Mason Mack. Oh, we got some awesome people out there. Who's starting in this afternoon? Okay. Yes, Sergichka. Yeah, we didn't see. Was that surprising to you that he didn't play yesterday?
No, I think they probably wanted to save him for the home game and let Evan try it out on the road. It sucks for either of them to play in that barn. That's a busy place to get lit up and hear the goal horn go off and the fans.
It's
10,000 fans.
Yeah.
But someone had to do it.
Berkey followed us. Thanks, Berkey.
Right on.
And something my life harder. Really? Who does that? My life harder. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying cheese and rice.
I love it.
Oh, boy. At least Berkey's here. Yeah, keep liking out there. We want to get to 20,000 by the end of the second period. That'd be awesome. We need a couple of tiny dinies and some hearts, etc. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P just joined us. Look at it. It's a pun at life because life gets hard. It does get hard sometimes, but you don't have to stay there. It gets hard, but you don't have to stay there. All right, seventh skater is out, and we're just a few minutes away, so we're going to stop the broadcast here on Facebook and YouTube. But thanks again to Hughes Intelligence and Barry Bentley and the team. We've got some of them up here joining us today, and all of you for watching. You're going to be back, right, at the end of the first period, and we'll
you know me.
Share our thoughts, whether they mean anything to you or not. That's up to you, right?
It's just an opinion.
Yeah, we're having fun.
Everybody
though, right?
has one.
It's fun up here in the
I love
suite,
it. Having a blast.
I do miss seeing some people down on the concourse, though. But man, that concourse is full, and the seats are.
That certainly is.
Yeah, it's a busy place here today. All right, well. Obviously, we're looking for positives from the Sarnia Sting, and I'm sure Connor would like that too.
9-3. Flip the switch.
Okay, there you go. All right, as always, I'm David Burrows, my good friend Connor Burke, and 1, 2, 3,
go Sting, go!